Welcome to 5 Minutes VHDL Podcast, the podcast where we talk about VHDL and hardware design. Okay, let's have a quick review of the previous episode. We saw that we need to understand what is required, divide a big problem into smaller problems, and draw the architecture from the general point of view down to the single detail. In hardware design, we can have two main approaches: the flat and hierarchical. What this means? Flat can be viewed as an open space where everyone stays in the same room and use the common resources. Hierarchical, vice versa, we can see as divided functionality by department. For instance, administration department, purchase, cleaning, design and production, and so on. On the design project that begin to have a minimum of complexity, the hierarchical approach is mandatory. Of course, you have to mix hierarchical and flat approach. In this case, you should use the right mix. At the moment, flat and hierarchical may seem like abstract concept, but we will have the opportunity to go deeper. For example, if I have a big wardrobe to store socks, t-shirt, pants, and so on, having a lot of shelves helps, but if I use too many shelves, I get the risk of fragmenting too much the division of my clothes. At least if I have one wardrobe drawer for any socks, I have a socks for each wardrobe drawer. So, going back to our modules, once we have decided how to divide the functionality, we have to put this block in communication. Now, if we have to make two people to communicate, if they speak the same languages, they have definitely advantaged. In hardware design, we say that we are defining the interface signal. So, in a simple way, we define which information must go from block A to block B and vice versa. For example, supposed to have two blocks, the TV and the remote controller. In this case, the communication is from remote controller to TV. Each button corresponds to an infrared signal. So if we have the right remote controller, we can communicate with our TV. If we use the decoder controller, remote controller to set the volume of the TV, it doesn't work. So we have to define the interface and the communication signal between our blocks. Summarizing, we have to understand what is required, divide a big problem into smaller problems, draw the architecture from the general down to the single detail, and define the interface. If these 4 points are all covered, the VHDL or Verilog or whatever coding is straightforward. In the next episode, we will introduce the binary logic. This is a fundamental topic in hardware design. So don't forget to share this podcast to any of your friends that is interested in this topic, and leave a review on iTunes so you can help me to grow up this podcast. All my contacts are in the episode description, and see you on the next episode. Ciao.